Come to your neighborhood, though. Go to your neighborhood. We want to see you walk around Queens. Go walk around Queens, man.
Young Buck just went live and called out 50 Cent to walk through Queens with no security after 50 trolled him with a brutal AI meme on his own birthday. What did 50 post that pushed Buck over the edge? And did Buck just reignite an 18-year war he can't win? Let's get into it. The birthday ambush. Around March 14th and 15th, 2026, Young Buck's 45th birthday weekend. David Darnell Brown, the Nashville OG who used to ride with 50 Cent as one of the founding pillars of Gun It when they was running an entire rap game, was out here just living his life and minding his business. The man had no smoke with nobody. Pomey was throwing what he called a rodeo birthday bash at his locker room Nashville saloon. Horses, cowboy vibes, southern energy, the whole nine. On top of the party, he posted a gang of clips to his IG. Just laid back footage of himself riding a horse through his block, chopping it up with the folks in the neighborhood, dapping up the homies, showing love to the people who've been showing love to him his whole life. No smoke, no subliminals, no shots, none of that. Just a grown man enjoying another year on this earth with the people who matter most.
Cups, what's up, OG? What's up? Yes, sir. You dig? Like, come where you from, homie. You know what I'm saying?
You can see it right there. The man is just out in the streets on his day, being embraced by his community. No problems, no beef on his mind whatsoever. Just genuine love from the block. OG showing respect. Neighbors coming through with the handshakes and the hugs. This is what it looks like when a man is truly rooted in where he comes from. And it was clear that Buck was soaking in every second of it.
You know, your gimmick is up, homie. We all looking at you. What's up, OG? How you doing, baby? I'm good, man.
At this point in live, Buck was still in full celebration mode, greeting the elders, showing love, keeping it 100 with his people. No drama whatsoever. No mention of 50 Cent. No mention of Gun It. Nothing. Just a man who was grateful to see 45 and wanted the world to see how his community felt about him. But all of that was about to change real quick because somebody else was watching this live.
I'm out here with them real riders, man. It is, baby. Real riders, man. It is, baby. Really do this.
Real riders, real folks, real community. That's what the birthday was about. But while Buck was out there keeping it solid in Cashville, 50 Cent was already on his phone, cooking up one of the most disrespectful posts in recent memory. See, that's the thing about Fifth. The man moves like a shark that smells blood in the water. It don't matter if you're minding your business, if you ain't said a word about him. If 50 sees an opening, 2, create content off your name. He's taking it every single time. The weapon he pulled out, an AI-generated Photoshop parody image styled after the old school 1970s TV show, The Dukes of Hazzard. And this wasn't some lazy thrown together meme either. This was a whole production, a detailed recreation of that classic promotional poster with a General Lee and a full cast. 50 had himself edited in as Bo Duke, the show's main protagonist. Tony Yao was posted up in a frame right next to him, and the one that really set the internet on fire, Gorilla's sister, Victoria Scarface Woods, better known as Barilla, was photoshopped directly onto the body of Daisy Duke, the iconic character known for those signature shorts. Then he threw T in there as Sheriff Roscoe P. Coltrane, the bumbling cop from the show, because 50 been going at tip 2. Why violate one person when you can hit 3 in the same post, right? That's the 50 Cent way. And Buck, the man the entire image was aimed at, he was the one being replaced, straight up erased from the squad and swapped out like he never existed. The caption posted from a 50 Cent for all his millions of followers to see. Read, they mad because you up? Young Buck kicked out. You in the group? At least I know you ain't looking at my LOL. And when Academic saw the post, even he had to pause.
At least I know you ain't looking at my ass. Oh shit. So he puts up a Barilla post and he says, they mad because you're up.
Even Ack knew that was a different type of violation, because on the surface, sure that caption reads like another one of 50's signature jokes, the kind that get a million likes before breakfast. But if you really know the history, if you've really been tuned into what's been going on between these two for the past 18 years, then you understand that every single word in that caption was loaded like a clip and aimed with intention. When 50 said, Young Buck kicked out, that wasn't no random bar. That was him reaching all the way back to Buck's messy public removal from Gun It in 2008, which came down to royalty beefs, loyalty questions, and what 50 called reckless spending. And at least I know you ain't looking at my A's. That was him pulling out the same card he'd been playing for a whole decade straight. That lawn-gunning personal rumor from the 2010s involving Buck and a transgender woman. 50's go to ammunition in every single round of this beef since the day that story first surfaced. This wasn't no off-the-cuff Instagram joke, fam. This was a calculated precision-aimed headshot designed to hit Buck in the two places that hurt the most, his career legacy and his personal life. That's the 50 Cent playbook. And homie's been running it to perfection for almost 2 decades straight.
Okay. So he takes a jab at Yayo, and apparently Yayo responds. And Yayo responds like this.
Exactly what happened. Buck saw that post and he responded hard. But we'll get to that in a second. First, Understand how fast this thing spread because it moved at a speed that even by internet standards was wild. The blog pages, academics, Baylor Alert, Industry Blitz, Traps, and Trunks reposted the image to their combined millions of followers within hours. YouTube reaction channels was uploading by sundown, cranking out videos with titles like 50 Cent trolls, Young Buck on his birthday, and Young Buck crashes out on 50 Cent Twitter went nuts with the memes. The broke boy joke started flying. The Hood Challenge debate kicked off, and the comment sections on every platform turned into a war zone between folks riding with Buck and folks laughing with Fifth. Even Barilla herself popped up looking unbothered, hyped that she was part of the conversation. The whole thing had legs from the jump, and it wasn't slowing down for nobody. And just like that, fam, with one single strategically timed Instagram post, 50 Cent took a man's 45th birthday, a moment that should have belonged entirely to Buck and his people, and turned it into the opening round of the latest chapter in one of the most one-sided and relentless beefs in the entire history of hip-hop. But Buck, and I need y'all to hear me on this, was not about to take that lane down. Not this time. Not on his birthday. And what he did next is exactly where this whole thing caught fire. The clapback from Cashville. Here's the thing about Young Buck that a lot of the people in the comments and the blog sections stay getting wrong. This ain't no soft dude. This ain't nobody who's gonna sit there scrolling through his mentions, see that level of disrespect posted about him on his born day, and just let it ride like it's nothing. Nah, not Buck. Not the homie from Cashville. And to the man's full credit, and I want to put that on the record before we go any further here, he did not fold. He did not tuck his tail. He ain't tweet out some vague, inspirational quote about rising above the noise. What Buck did was 1,000 times more raw, 1,000 times more real, and rooted in the type of street-certified community-backed energy that made him who he is in the first place. Homie grabbed his phone, opened IG, hit go live, and went straight to the trenches. Not a studio, not a penthouse, but directly into the heart of his Nashville block, surrounded by the OGs and the neighborhood cats that have been rocking with him since day one. Buck was physically posted up in his neighborhood, walking through the streets, dapping up OGs by their government names, stopping by Ed's Fish Place like it's just another Tuesday. No security, no handlers, no entourage, just Buck and the people who've been in his corner since day one. And from that position, he started letting it fly.
Leave that, man. This ain't no game. And I just be sitting back and watching, man.
Buck was making it clear from the jump. He ain't been sleeping on none of this. He'd been watching 50's whole troll campaign unfold in real time. He'd been clocking every post, every meme, every personal attack. Every time 50 drags somebody's name to the dirt for engagement, he'd been biting his tongue through all of it. But not no more. The birthday post was the one that finally broke the camel's back.
Trying to manipulate these fans' minds and shit until the bullshit come to an end and that shit catch up with you.
That right there was Buck calling out what a growing number of heads in the culture been whispering about for a minute now. That 50's whole operation at this point is built on controlling the narrative, on shaping how people see things through humor and memes and viral moments. It's all smoke and mirrors, fan memes instead of music, trolling instead of creating, internet warfare instead of real substance. And Buck was saying straight up, the jig is up. Homie, people are starting to see through the act, and it's only a matter of time before the rest catch on.
Now you got kids all over you. You can't even do nothing with the man's children. So you want to just start trolling different folks and this and that.
Direct shot at 50's ongoing smoke with T.I., whose sons have been publicly getting at FIF on social media. Buck was basically saying, you got real problems on your plate right now. Family problems, situations with people's kids getting involved. And instead of handling that like a grown man, you out here on Instagram making AI memes about me on my birthday, where your priorities at, homie, get your own house in order before you come trying to burn down mine.
Man, come on, man, the gig is up, man. Goddamn, how much trolling and shit you gonna do before you do something?
And then Buck followed it up with something that really drove the point home that all this internet tough talk ain't translating to nothing real.
You ain't gonna do a goddamn thing, all that old bluff. Keep that shit up there.
Keep that underscore up there. Meaning, keep that energy in New York. Keep it on the internet. Keep it wherever it lives. Because down here in Tennessee, in the real streets of Nashville, it's a different type of real. And Buck was making it very clear that the online tough talk don't carry the same weight when you're standing face to face with the people who actually know you. And it was right around this point that Buck dropped the bar heard around the internet. The challenge that would set every comment section, every group chat, every podcast, and every reaction channel ablaze.
Come to your neighborhood, though. Go to your neighborhood. We want to see you walk around Queens. Go walk around Queens, man.
Go walk around Queens. That challenge completely flipped the energy of this whole beef. 50 had been operating from behind the screen, tossing grenades from the comfort of his phone.
With no security, we want to see what your life like. You so goddamn tough.
Now look, some folks been debating whether that challenge is even fair given 50's level of fame. And yeah, logistically, 50 can't just stroll through South Jamaica, Queens without shutting the block down. But that ain't the point. The point was principle. Buck was standing in his hood, getting love from every direction. No barriers, no pretense. And he was saying, this is what it looks like when your community genuinely rocks with you. Can you say the same, fam?
Your gig is up. The laughs is over with. Now they see what it really been.
And then Buck sealed the whole rant with a line that carried more weight than most people probably even realized.
It's my C-Day. And I ain't signed to your no more. And I don't owe you a
I don't owe you a
quarter.
quarter. That was a direct reference to the bankruptcy settlement, where Buck paid 50 Cent roughly $200,690 through the Nashville courts, officially clearing the financial debt that had been hanging over his head for a decade. The bag is paid, the contract is a wrap, the chains are off, and you don't got no more leverage on me, period. But if Buck thought for 1 second that going off on live was going to make 50 back down, he was dead wrong. 50 reposted Buck's own footage to his IG within hours and slapped a caption on it designed for maximum damage. LOL, look at this punk ass. We know you like them boys. Buck, but really like the girls. That's a better fit around here. Punk, you in your hood because you broke boy. LOL, broke boy. 2 words that spread through the hip-hop internet like a virus. Every platform, every comment section, every group chat was running with it within hours. And what made it so cold, so ruthless, so effective was how it completely reframed Buck's entire argument. Buck was out there saying, I walk my hood freely. I'm loved. I'm respected. I'm home. And 50 flipped that whole narrative upside down. He was saying, nah, the only reason you walk your hood freely is because you ain't got nowhere else to go. You ain't humble. You're stuck. You ain't choosing the block. The block is all you got left. And that reframe, whether it's true or cap, is a kind of savage counterplay that has made 50 Cent one of the most feared names in hip-hop when it comes to public warfare.
Page in all 50s. Po ass petty nigga. What's going on? Let's go. Where's that?
Clearly wasn't backing down, but 50 had already won the moment on social media. Tony Yayo jumped into the comments with, we be in Southside all the time, a direct nod to Southside Jamaica. Queens co-signing that the unit moves wherever they want. Multiple outlets, Hot New Hip Hop XXL, Hot 97. Screenshotted it before the post got taken down, and 50 wasn't done. He reshared an old clip from Gary with T about the transgender rumor and added, no reunion FK, that Barilla on the next tour. I'll FK around and put him in my new show, The Accomplice. No reunion, no reconciliation, no mercy. Themix is real that amplified Buck's side pulled in thousands of likes and hundreds of comments. And the reactions were split right down the middle between folks defending Buck's realness and folks bringing up his past L's. And it's those L's, that full ugly 18-year history, we gotta get into now. 18 years of war. Here's what sets this beef apart from every other rap feud you can think of. This ain't some 2 Twitter fingers drama that pops off and gets forgotten by the next news cycle. This ain't no SoundCloud subliminals that get addressed in a Breakfast Club interview and then everybody moves on. Nah, fam. This goes way, way deeper than all of that. It didn't start with no meme. It didn't start with no diss track, dropped at midnight. And it damn sure didn't start over no horse video on Instagram. This started like most things in hip-hop that end up lasting 2 full decades with no resolution in sight. Over bread, over contracts, over royalties, over publishing, and most importantly, over what happens when the bond between brothers in the business of the music industry crash headers into each other, and nobody knows how to sort out the wreckage. Young Buck came up with Gun It around 2002 to 2003, and by 2004, he dropped straight out of Cashville, which went platinum and put Nashville on the map. But behind the scenes, the foundation was cracking, starting when 50 Cent and Sean Money XL, the group's manager and architect, had a falling out over money, and Buck was tight with Sean Money. Real tight.
That's how me and close Shy was. Me and Shy were fucking probably closer than me and 50. Him and 50 was. You know, so
when 50 told the whole squad to cut ties with Sean Money, Buck was caught in an impossible position, forced to choose between his brother, the man he stood next to at the altar as best man, and his boss, the man who gave him the opportunity of a lifetime. And either choice came with consequences that would follow him for years.
No different than I think 50 was. And I didn't know their situations was that serious to the point where I needed to fire Shy.
Didn't even fully understand how deep the rift between 50 and Sean Money went. He just knew he wasn't about to turn his back on his brother over somebody else's beef. And that decision, that one choice to stay loyal, is what set the entire domino chain in motion.
The resentment started from 50 not having me on the shows together, so you would see Banks and Yayo and 50 together.
That's how it played out. While Banks and Lloyd and 50 were doing shows together, moving as a unit, Buck was on the outside looking in. He got cut from group appearances, left to push his sophomore album, Buck the World, basically on his own, and that isolation started to take its toll. Then the press started smelling blood in the water, asking questions about what was really going on inside Gun, and Buck, rather than covering for the situation like he'd been doing, finally told the truth about the money.
And it was like, man, I ain't never seen a publishing check. Everything I got come from shows. and shit like that.
That royalty admission in a 200-7208 interview hit 50 Cent like a personal betrayal. Because in 50's mind, you don't air the family's dirty laundry in public, no matter what's going on behind closed doors. And from that moment on, it was a wrap. On April 7, 2008, 50 went live on Hot 97 and told the whole world that Young Buck was officially done with Gun It. You can take this as official notice. Cold, clinical, final. No warning, no second chance, no conversation, just gone. But what happened 2 months after that announcement? What 50 had been quietly holding in his back pocket the entire time is the moment that truly changed the trajectory of Young Buck's career and his public image in a way that he has never ever fully recovered from. In June 2008, 50 Cent leaked a private phone call he'd secretly recorded roughly a year earlier. 16 minutes of audio he'd been sitting on, waiting for the right moment. And in that recording, you can hear Young Buck, the man who built his whole reputation on being Casual's hardest, completely breaking down, crying, apologizing, begging not to be cut from the squad.
And I'm aware of some of the things that I said, but I don't want you to feel like...
Right from the first seconds, you can hear it. This ain't no act. This is a man genuinely terrified of losing everything.
Man, my whole thing is that I don't know what the fuck to...
Buck was telling 50 he physically could not bring himself to diss him. The bond was too deep. And the whole time the man he was pouring his heart out to was recording every word.
And the nigga just want that same family feel like it's always been. Man, I know I'm out of line.
And then came the line, the one that's been following Buck around like a shadow for 18 straight years. 24. That same family feel. Bam. Those words right there. That's the line that would haunt Young Buck for the next 18 years of his life. And what makes it even more painful is what 50 said back to him on that same call. Because 50 wasn't screaming. He wasn't going off. He was calm, almost gentle, playing the role of a concerned big brother. Stay close, sir. That was 50 advice. Stay close so you don't mess up. Sound like mentorship, right? Sounds like a man looking out for his little brother. But here's the cold, brutal reality of what actually happened. 50 recorded that entire conversation, saved the file, and then waited for the perfect moment to deploy it as a weapon. And when that moment came, he dropped on the whole world without an ounce of hesitation. When that tape hit the internet, it was a wrap. Finished. Game over. Blogs and forums immediately labeled it the moment Young Buck's street cred was destroyed. In the ruthless court of 2008 hip-hop culture, where showing any type of emotional vulnerability was treated like a cardinal sin, where being broke was worse than being dishonest, and where your street image was literally your currency. Hearing a so-called gangster rapper sobbing and begging his boss on tape was nothing short of a public execution. The comment sections were merciless. The blogs were merciless. The culture was merciless. Buck went from being Gun It Southern enforcer to the dude who cried to 50 on tape damn near overnight. He came back the very next day with a diss track called Tape Conversation, rapping the only people that record conversations is 5 Zuma hard play on 50's name and the police, but the damage was already done and everybody knew it. You can't out-rap a leak tape. The audio spoke louder than any 16 bars ever could. From that point forward, 50 held the upper hand at every single turn. For years, Buck stayed locked to Gun It Records contractually, unable to drop music on his own terms or build any kind of independent momentum. A brief reunion at Summer Jam 2014 had the fans hyped. The whole squad back on stage together for the first time since '08, but it fell apart almost immediately with no real reconciliation behind the scenes. Then in 2019, the whole thing took an even uglier turn when 50 leaked alleged audio of Buck in a transgender encounter and went on a full-blown trolling campaign on IG, creating mock GoFundMe pages, yanking Buck's music videos off platforms through copyright claims, and posting Faye wants underscore money like it was a damn catchphrase. Buck called for a Verzu-style rap battle, put his pen where his mouth was, but 50 never took the bait, and the trolling only got more relentless. Then came the money war, the one that would play out in courtrooms instead of comment sections. The core of the financial dispute centered around roughly $250,000 that 50 claimed he advanced through a 2014 recording contract for 2 albums that were never delivered. Buck filed Chapter 7 bankruptcy in 2020. Gun It filed a creditor claim, and the whole thing dragged through the Nashville federal courts for years. Accusations of fraud, hidden assets, and catalog ownership flying from both sides. But in July 2025, the courts finalized a settlement. Buck's liquidated estate, everything he had, paid out $200,690 directly to 50 Cent, closing the legal battle once and for all. Every major outlet, Hip Hop DX Complex, Vice, all of them ran the same headline. 50 Cent wins financial battle with Young Buck. Another L on Buck's record, another W on 50's. And if losing the court case was enough, in April 2025, Buck caught 30 days in Saar County Jail for violating bond conditions on a separate case. The mugshot spread everywhere. 50 was on it within hours, posting the mugshot with, "Damn, how'd that head get like that? Police must have hit him in the head, LOL." Followed by a gift of Megamind. The man does not miss a single opportunity. And that's how we end up right back where we started. March 2026, birthday trolling, horse videos, and a beef that shows zero signs of cooling off. This Buck situation is just one of at least 5 active beefs 50 Cent is juggling right now alongside Timeo Papoose. And even boxer Clarissa Shields all run to the same playbook of IG memes, AI images, and personal humiliation. The question I'ma leave y'all with is whether any of this is still funny because we can laugh at the memes, repost the Dukes of Hazzard image, quote the broke boy line. But on the other side of all those jokes is a real person. Somebody who, for all his faults, once stood shoulder to shoulder with the very man now dedicated to making his life a punchline. Somebody who once called him family on a tape that the whole world heard. And that, depending on where you stand, is either the greatest saga in hip-hop beef history or the most tragic one we ever going to witness. Drop your thoughts in the comments, like, subscribe, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. We out.